Juan Daniel, un saludo, Juan Daniel. Ahí va a salir.
Hey everybody, welcome aboard the 5:15 75-minute river architecture tour. You on the right spot. You're not going to stop me 30 minutes in and be like, hey, I thought this was half an hour. Please don't. Please don't. We're all here for the 75 minutes, right? Cool, okay.
Virginia Vélez, saludos, Virginia.
It's the locks, really. Quick couple of announcements. First, this is a boat. As such, boats do move.
Carmen Rivera, Junior 7 Comunica en México, muchos saludos.
They can bounce, they can rock side to side. So, if you have any conditions that might be bothered by the movement of the boat, such as bad neck, bad back, osteoporosis, maybe you're in your late term of pregnancy, then you might not want to ride the ride. You know your body better than I do. I'm not going to tell you to do or not do anything you don't want to do. But if you don't feel like getting jostled around today, you are free to leave and get a refund of the ticket. Lastly, a quick wetness warning. We typically on this tour move pretty slowly, but occasionally the possibility of getting splashed is there. It's not high. It's really not, but it is there, so I throw it out there anyway. Wetness warning, this is the Sea Dog. It is an open boat, so it could happen. If that's a deal breaker, please make it known right now, or forever hold your peace. Is that how that goes?
Voy a estar haciendo unos videos programados para que se mire con alta definición, pero ya estamos saliendo. Sí.
Welcome aboard the Sea Dog, everybody. My name's Abby. I'm going to be your guide for today. Pleasure to meet all of you. Let me introduce the rest of the crew. Up there, move the boat is our captain, Captain Steve. Say hi, Captain Steve.
Hi, Captain Steve.
Back there, we also have our first mate, Eric. Say hi, Eric. We are super excited to have you aboard the Sea Dog tonight. It's a beautiful day for a boat ride, a nice, clear day. First, I do have to go over a quick couple of rules, just some safety stuff.
Olivia Contreras, saludos.
Then we can get into the fun part. First, no standing on the boat. You must remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened. If Captain Steve sees you standing up, he will stop the boat, so let's just leave the fun going for everybody, alright? And keep our butts in those seats. Rule number 2, no smoking or vaping while on this boat. If I see smoke coming off your body, I am going to assume that it's an emergency and I will spray you with a fire extinguisher, so let's just avoid that whole interaction, okay? Third, please do not litter. This is beautiful Lake Michigan where us Chicagoans get our drinking water. We don't want your trash in our drinking water. That's super gross. We're gonna be eco-friendly here, right? We all love the planet. Yeah. So let's leave the trash on the boat. The wind can pick up quite a bit, you guys, so please hold on to all personal belongings. Hold on to any hats, glasses, cell phones, lashes, toupees, anything not permanently attached to your body. Hold on to it. I am not jumping in after it, okay? Water is a little bit too cold to go for a swim for your toupee, so just hold on to all your stuff. Please keep all of your favorite limbs inside of the boat. Hands, arms, feet, legs, head. We got these metal railings here on either side of the boat. You might be tempted to lean your elbow or your head on. Just do have caution in case we hit a bump. I don't want you popping your elbow, bruising yourself. I would feel bad. So let's leave our favorite limbs inside.
Está frío, está frío.
And also, we're going to start heading into the lock system, which I will explain what that is in a second. But basically, what you have to be concerned about is we will be cozying on up to a nice concrete wall right next to us. If you are next to that concrete wall, please keep your hands inside the boat. No need to reach out and tap that wall. It's just concrete. It's super not interesting. If you value the skin on your hand and you want to leave it there, no need to touch that. Well, if you really want to know what it feels like at the end of the tour, you could just like walk back onto the pier and just sort of. That's what it feels like. Regular old concrete. Let's see. What am I missing? Oh yeah. Are we all familiar with this bad boy? The life vest. black strap, wrap it around your back, clip it in through the deep in the front. We'll now do a demonstration for my more visual learners.
I gave this quiz to 204 fifth graders in this class. My question is, are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Get all that. Want me to do it again for those who weren't watching? No. Okay, I am just kidding, but do give me a second to take it off.
Así es, Juan Daniel Hernández. Un excelente paseo en este barco de carrera, Speedboat, le llaman, ¿verdad? Speedboat es como barco de carrera, ¿verdad? Pero bueno, es un recorrido.
Okay, we're here. Those are all the rules I have for you guys today. So, what the heck are we doing? What's going on? I'm sure that is the burning question in all of your hearts. What we're doing right now is we are entering the Chicago Harbor lock system. Woo! Basically, this is the one and only way to enter the river from the lake. Well, I guess there's two ways. You could go through all the Great Lakes and then through some side rivers and then go around St. Louis and then come back up the Chicago River, but that would take longer than 75 minutes. So let's just stick with this one. This is like a gateway, you know, the gateway to enter the Chicago River. And the story of the Chicago Harbor Lock System, it sounds tangential. It sounds like I'm getting off topic, but I promise it all relates. Once upon a time, Chicago was the slaughterhouse capital of the world. Woo. We didn't have a super great waste disposal system at the time, so what we did was we took our unusable animal bits. I'm sorry, I get distracted so easily. We took our unusable animal bits and we threw them in the river. At the time, the Chicago River would flow into Lake Michigan, how rivers flow into the larger body of water, which meant all of those super nasty animal bits are going into our drinking water. I mentioned earlier, Lake Michigan is our drinking water, so all of these animal bits are getting in our drinking water.
Is correct.
And that's as
The first building I showed you is a
disgusting.
European style.
You know, it's
What style
people
was
start
it?
dropping like flies, dying of
French
dysentery
is
and
correct.
whatever else you die from in
To
that
be the
game on the
name of
trail.
the second tallest
So
building
we
in
had to
Chicago.
find a solution to our
Front
problem.
towers is correct. What
And
was
it's
Pathfinder
really
of
distracting me,
architectural
sorry.
philosophy?
We had to find a solution to the problem. We had to get those animal bits out of our drinking water.
You have 24.
We could change our ways,
The fifth graders
clean our
missed
waters.
the next question.
make the world a happier, healthier
What do
place,
you win?
but
Absolutely
nah.
nothing.
Instead, what we decided to do was we took our
The fifth graders
problems
missed the next
and we
question.
pushed them that way. Literally. We pushed our problems that way. We decided to reverse the flow of the Chicago River so it would flow that way, away from Lake Michigan, rather than into
Aqua
it.
is correct.
In order to do
Well done,
this,
young lady.
we had to dig a little bit. We were digging
What was the
some
architect's
canals,
name?
some rivers, but essentially we're digging and we're digging and we're getting closer and closer to St.
Genie
Louis.
game is correct.
St.
Well
Louis
done.
isn't too
How many
thrilled about
bridges
this.
in
They're
Chicago?
like, hey, Chicago, you're super
37.
nasty.
Estamos en espera que abran esta vaina.
Getting close to our
Tienen que
water.
abrir esta para que podamos
Has
pasar.
nothing to do with that,
How
so
deep is the
keep
river?
us out of it, thanks. And Chicago's like, don't even worry about it, fam. It's not a big deal. It's whatever's going on here, not your problem.
Give me the
Don't worry
name of
about
the first
it. And
citizen
we keep
of
digging and we're
Chicago.
digging and we're getting closer and closer to St. Louis. St. Louis is like, no, for real, Chicago, we're gonna sue
The
you
fifth graders
if you
missed the
don't
next
stop
two.
digging. We're just gonna straight up sue you. So
If you were
obviously,
listening, you'll
the
get it
smart
right.
and neighborly thing to do would have been
How
to
deep did
stop
they
it.
dig down to reverse the
But
flow?
that doesn't really sound like Chicago, does
37
it?
feet is correct.
Instead, what we
How
decided
long
to
was
do
the hole,
is we went up
sir?
to the final dam that
26
separated the
miles
Chicago
is
River
correct.
from St. Louis in the middle of the night, and we blew it up.
1% of the
Because if we
world's
do it in the
fresh
middle of the
water
night, no
comes from
one
Great Lakes.
can prove that it was us.
20% is
I'm saying
correct.
us as like the royal us.
I'm going to
I
give
was
you a letter.
not personally
If you
there
can
for
do it,
this. This
name
is
the
the
Great
city of
Lake.
Chicago.
S.
So we blow up this day,
E.
right? And St. Louis wakes up the next
M.
morning. And it's like, Chicago, what the
O.
heck? We just told you.
H.
Now we have to sue you. All of your
Zero.
nasty water is getting into our water.
The 5
And
Great
Chicago's like,
Lakes
girl, I
account
just
for
woke up. It's
50%.
insane.
I have one lake in
I don't know how this
Siberia.
happened. It
I'm
must
up
have
to
been
40%. What's the
Mother Nature
of the lake in
or
Siberia?
ghosts.
Lake by cow.
And I guess that worked. They couldn't really prove it was us. So, and it did work. The Chicago River started to flow that way. And the animal bits were no longer getting in our drinking water. Woo! But a whole new problem has now arisen.
The World's Fair of 1893.
Lake Michigan, for lack of a better word, was starting to drain. The water level was starting to lower.
60 million.
And a lot of other places rely on Lake Michigan out of Chicago. A lot of places, including Canada. Canada, they were the ones who sued us. They were the ones who sued us for messing with their water. Right, Canada of all places. So now we get sued by Canada and we have to figure out how to keep Lake Michigan at the same level it's at while still having the Chicago River flow that way. So we built the block system. Told you we'd get back here. The way this baby works is that we enter through those gates, right? So when those gates are open, the water in the lock system is at the same level as Lake Michigan.
What's it cost to go through the lock?
But when these gates open and those gates close, the water will start to lower. This is because the Chicago River is actually
Look at the big
physically
boat.
lower than Lake Michigan. It's 4 to 5 feet
Indiana's
lower.
one.
And when these doors crack open, you probably be able to see
big boat
through
behind
and
us.
see that it's actually super
You've been
duper
on seal.
low.
The big boat behind us.
So, looks like the gates may have closed behind us. Got hard telling we got this nice big old boat boy. When the gates close behind us and the gates crack open in front of us, water will start to flow out of the lock system into the river, and we will drop 4 to 5 feet. Not fast. It's not a quick, scary. It's like a nice, slow descent. Because if we dropped really quickly, that would mean releasing a giant wave onto the Chicago River.
Look at it.
For unsuspecting kayakers.
Check it.
1,400 amp.
There it is. If you guys look past me, you can see that the lock system has cracked open and water.
1,400.
Shake it. Oh, look at the water.
Exactly. You can kind of see, if you hear it through the crack, that the water level is cracked lower on the other side of these gates.
Amazing.
So we're going to start to drop now. We've actually already started. If you look over that way, you can see the water level, where on the concrete wall where we used to be versus where we are now. So we will steadily drop 4 to 5 feet to meet the level of the Chicago
The
River.
first person that got it right was a Georgia.
So the lock system, it was the solution to all our problems. Yay! Lake Michigan remained at the level it's at, and the Chicago River remained flowing that way as nasty as ever. It's a little bit cleaner than it used to be. Actually, the river used to be scientifically toxic. It was toxic water. But we've since cleaned it up a bit and been improving, and now it's just polluted. Woo. Baby steps, you guys. Would I recommend swimming in the Chicago River? No. It's also just illegal, so. But on top of that, nasty. It's not very clean water. There have been people who have jumped off their boats into the water here in the boat system. I guess going swimming. I don't know why you would want to do that. This water is nasty and that's super illegal. It won them a one-way ticket to a night in jail, but basically this long tangential way of saying don't go swimming in the Chicago River. There's no need. Even in the warmer months.
Ever checked in using the barcode in the scanner? The barcode number was 0001.
Andrés Aldaño, saludos. Carlos Navarrete,
So,
saludos.
as you can see,
Is correct.
we are sitting right next to another tour boat. If you can, I don't know if you noticed.
What flavor?
But this
Double mint
is
is
one of the
not correct.
benefits.
It was juicy fruit. How many packs?
I don't know what they're
Not
talking about.
5. Not three.
Why are they talking about barcodes? I don't
Not
know.
one.
He only talked
A
about
10
one.
pack
So.
of juicy
Anyway.
fruit this is the first item. Never check in using a barcode in the scanner.
Anyway, we're sitting
The
here
lady in the
next to another
back, she
tour
popped
boat.
up. She said, Jack,
So these
juicy
guys,
fruit.
us,
10 pack.
these
Quickly.
dudes, and
How do you know?
pretty much anyone who's a commercial passenger vessel, right? Which means you guys are customers, paid, got tickets, riding on the boat. We gotta be first in line to enter the locks. Because everybody's gotta use the locks, including, you can see some people back there, they're on their personal boats, like the ones that they own or rent. So everyone uses the locks, but commercial passenger vessels like us and the Wendell over there, we get to be first in line, which is why we get this nice, front row seat to the gates. I say first in line, but that's a little wrong. I'm kind of lying. The first in line is the lock.
Ricardo López, así es, Ricardo López.
But, government vessels aren't constant.
Ya mero el agua está al nivel, ya mero el agua está al nivel para que abran esa vaina.
We get to be first in line most of the time. And then after us come the people in their recreational personal vessels. And they have a couple more rules than we do. Because as commercial
Ahí va, ahí va, ahí va, ahí va, ahí va, ahí va.
Yeah.
Que abra, que abra, que abra, que abra.
I'll give you a nice architecture.
Exceptions to rules. Like
Abra la puerta, abra la puerta.
Have you wearing life jackets on them, every single person on the boat. But obviously we don't, otherwise we would have made you put life jackets on. But yeah, check it out. The
Vamos
gates
por
are,
el Chicago River.
Jurassic Park style. There we go.
Chicago River. El río de
So
Chicago.
that means we are now at the level of the Chicago River. Woo, which means in just a second we'll be able to enter the Chicago River once these gates.
Jack Mendoza, saludos, mi hermano.
You're gonna hear this like buzzer, horn sound thing. A sound's gonna go off that is essentially gonna mean that we can start moving. We can enter the river. But first we gotta let these bad boys open. Really beautiful Chicago River, her beautiful green glory. Happy glass wine, the river and the lake is green. That's a variety of reasons, really, but the primary reason is not, in fact, the St. Patrick's Day dyeing of the river green. That's not what it is. It's because the water is actually pretty shallow. Right here, it's about 22 feet. We dropped a little bit, so maybe we're somewhere in the 19 feet. The 22 feet over here gets closer to 30 out there, past the walls 40. But it's basically a very shallow lake. So the shallowness of the water, combined with the algae and the plant life in there, is what actually gives it that nice green color. All right. The buzzer's gonna go in 3.
Woo! Let's go, big boy.
1. Nope. 1. Nope. Come on, you bears.
Let's go, let's go.
Usually a horn goes off and not that guy's voice. It's not timed. It just kind of is consistently going as boats are going in and out of there. So you don't have to make it here at 5:30 to make the locks. It's just kind of like when the locks are open, they're open. When they're not, they're not. But they're constantly going. There's a bunch of people running it that are physically opening and closing. Not physically pushing them open with their hands, but you know what I mean, probably pressing a button means you can open it. So there's guys running it. It's not, I'm not really sure why, but just some reason. There it is. 1. Nailed it.
Oh yeah.
First try.
Bye.
I'm usually a lot better. I'm not great, but I'm usually a lot better. Goodbye. Have a nice boat ride. Alright. Now I can hear myself think. We're headed in.
No creo que haya en vivos hoy. Pregúntale a Carmen si ella va a ser en vivos. No sé si Carmen irá a ser en vivos más tarde. Creo que sí, pero yo no. Yo voy a hacer un en vivo mañana. Sí, mañana a las 9 p.m. horario de Chicago, dando información acerca de los canales de YouTube. Muy buena información que viene. Mañana 9 p.m. Miren nomás la bella ciudad de Chicago, miren. Chicago, Chicago.
You'll see firsthand how that goes a little bit later. Right here in front of us, you see this tall blue building that's kind of shaped like French fry a little bit? That is the St. Regis. It is brand new. Started construction in 2016, just finished. People are now starting to move in there. It'll open like this summer. So not a whole lights are turned on in there at night because just not a whole lot of people live there yet. It's super, super new. It is the brand new third tallest tower in the city. And even though it's only the third tallest, the St. Regis is actually the tallest skyscraper to be designed by a woman. Yeah, her name is Jean Gang, G-A-N-G. She's very cool. She also designed the second tallest tower to be designed by a woman. So she has the number 1 and 2 spot filled right now. She's killing the architecture game. That is a St. Regis, that beautiful
Virginia Vélez, saludos Virginia.
Meant to reflect off its surroundings, reflects off the lake and the sky. Isn't that pretty? I kind of think it just looks like French fries, but you know, still a very beautiful and unique design. Right up there at the top, you can kind of see how there's 2 levels that look like they're missing, right? Up there near the top. Well, they're not actually missing. They didn't forget to put windows in there. Those are wind tunnels. Those are in there so that wind will flow through the building rather than against the building, making it sway too far in any direction. The St. Regis is made of glass. Glass is not super flexible, so those wind tunnels save it quite a few feet of sway in the air. It's very normal for skyscrapers to, you know, sway with the wind. But because of its glass structure, Jean Gang had to work around that a little bit. Here we have some urban kayakers. Back to the St. Regis. I was once giving this tour where a man on board was actually a construction worker who worked on the St. Regis. So it was super cool to get to meet him and talk about the St. Regis and like validate my feelings, and I got everything right. It was like, ooh. But he told me that aside from those wind tunnels, another way that the St. Regis protects from wind flow is that there are 2 like pillar poles of water that run up and down the tallest tower of the St. Regis. And that helps keep it balanced against the wind. I thought that was super neat because that's actually the second time I'd ever heard of water being used in architecture.
Ahí está el building de Trump. Ese building que está enfrente de nosotros es el Trump.
We're coming up now on more Jean Gang's Road. You see past this pizza slice looking building, this like white wavy balcony building right here. We'll get a better view of it once we get to the other side of the pizza slice building. That is the Aqua Tower, more of Jean Gang's work. Those wavy white balconies, each one is unique. There are no 2 that are identical. They're like snowflakes in that sense. You know how no 2 snowflakes are the same.
What is that?
No 2 wavy white balconies on the Aqua Tower are the same. While it is aesthetically pleasing to look at, I think it's just nice and pretty. The balconies actually serve a very functional purpose. The uniqueness of the wavy balconies helps control wind flow against the building. It helps spread the wind a little bit more evenly against the building. So that's just another way Jean Gang controls wind flow in a very creative way. This girl's kind of awesome. So, right here, past this regular brown building, well, it's past it with the sun shining nicely on the side. We have this tall, gray rectangle of a building, right? That is the Aon Insurance Center. It is a center for insurance. Yeah, it's not super exciting, but it is the 4th tallest building. It used to be the 3rd tallest, but obviously obviously it was just recently beaten out in St. Regis. So it's very tall, and that's about it in terms of that building.
Open up, open up.
Right here in front of us, this tall silver tower right here is the second tallest tower in Chicago. We talked about the third, we talked about the fourth, let's talk about the second. Actually, fun fact, the only reason this guy is the second tallest in the city is because of that giant antenna at the top, that big white antenna. If it wasn't for that antenna, this building would actually be smaller than a number of buildings in the city, St. Regis and Aon Insurance Center included. So the structure itself is not the second tallest in the city, but because it has that big old antenna, it maintains the number 2 spot. This tower was designed by a man named Adrian, and I don't know if I have any like hardcore fans of architecture on board because they recognize the name Adrian Smith, but you may know him as the man who designed the tallest tower in the world, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. This tower was actually designed to look identical to the one in Dubai, except, you know, much, much smaller. Because this one's only the second tallest in Chicago, and the one in Dubai is the tallest in the world. So, obviously, this one's much, much taller, but design-wise, they are identical. Past this bridge over here, you guys see these funky-looking buildings? These 2 identical loopy buildings, I guess, for lack of a better word. Those are the Marina City Towers. They're called the Marina City Towers because they're meant to be their own little city, you know? Like you never have to leave. You got your apartments, you got your stores, you got your restaurants, you got your parking for your cars, you got your parking for your boats. That's why it's called Marina City Towers, is because there's a marina right here at the bottom, which you'll be able to see in just a second. Hello, look at that. Right here, here's the marina. And as you can see, right above the marina, we have these circular parking structures, right? And I bet you're wondering, hey Abby, has anyone ever, you know, fallen out of the parking garage into the river? Yes, twice. Both on purpose. Once was a stunt for a movie, once was a stunt for a commercial. Never has anyone accidentally fallen off the parking garage. I just do that dramatic pause because I'm a jerk. But no, those parking structures are perfectly safe. You guys, you know that commercial, those Allstate commercials with like the mischief dude, like the cuts on his face and stuff? That's that commercial. We are coming up now. We are coming up now out the right of the boat. Oh my gosh, look at all those lights. On the right of the boat, the Reed Murdoch building, you can kind of see the pink lights coming up on the wall. The Reed Murdoch might frustrate some people, makes me a little itchy to look at, because the clock is not centered. It's not symmetrical. It actually used to be. The clock used to be in the center because one more row of windows used to go out this way, but the city of Chicago wanted to build LaSalle Street here behind me, and they couldn't. The building was in the way, so they chopped that section of the building right off, made this street, and now the clock is off center. It's fine. It's fine. Attention out to the right of the boat, a little bit ahead of us. We're coming up on the biggest building in Chicago. Don't look up, not tallest, biggest square footage wise. This is the biggest building square footage wise in Chicago. It is called Merchandise Mart because it's a mart, merchandise. Now it's got stores. Here it is. Merchandise Mart is so big that it actually had its own zip code for the longest time. That was only since updated to include some of the surrounding area, so it still has an entire zip code to itself. That's a very big building. actually, while this is the second biggest building square footage wise in Chicago, it's the first biggest square footage wise in Chicago. It's the second biggest square footage wise in America, beaten only by the Pentagon. Very big, very easy to get lost in, at least if you're me. We're coming up now on a split in the river known as Wolf's Point. And you may have noticed this whole time we've been coasting down the river, there's been this walkway, right? It's like lined with bars and restaurants and such. This is the Riverwalk. It's a walk along the river. It's not very long. It's definitely fun to go check out. But this specific section of the Riverwalk is lined with this series of portraits, right? And all of these people in these portraits are real people that you can find in the city. You probably won't. There's a lot of people here. But they are all real people. All those portraits were done by a local Chicagoan artist as part of this initiative that the city is doing. So you guys may have heard of this, I don't know, this little thing. The COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah, put a damper on things for a little while there. So in order to bring some color and light and joy back into the city, Chicago's doing this initiative that shows off local Chicagoan art. And this is part of that initiative. I'll let you finish, Trey. Go ahead. Out the right of the boat, this building looks like it shouldn't even be standing, right? Looks like it should fall over right on top of us. They weren't given a whole lot of space to work with on the ground, you know. They were given roughly 40 square feet of space because they had to deal with the river and the two roads and the railway, so it's just not a whole lot. But they did a good job maximizing their space, I think. There's a lot of reasons why this building remains standing, but one of the most interesting reasons, in my opinion, has to do with water. Brought that up earlier, it's coming back. There are jugs of water, and not like little jugs, like industrial-sized jugs of water hanging from the ceiling on either side of the building, and that helps keep it stabilized, among, of course, many other things. But I just thought it was interesting because I didn't know that water could be so useful in architecture. Do I have any fans of theater on board, of the theater? Yeah, okay, a couple. I myself am a theater person. I'm sure that comes as no surprise to you. I bring this up because we are coming up on Chicago's one of the Chicago's biggest theaters, the Lyric Opera House, or the Civic Opera of the building, depending on how you like to call it. And if you look up, you'll see the Lyric is actually designed to look like a throne. So you can see like the back of the chair with the two arms and then a super uncomfortable looking cushion. Doesn't look like a giant chair. That's so awesome, isn't it? Yeah, so the man who designed this opera house, he had a wife. And his wife was an opera singer. So she goes to New York to try to make it big as an opera singer. But the thing is, she's bad at singing. She's like not a good singer. So New York, you know, boots her out of there. You'll never make it in this town, lady. She comes back to Chicago.
Ok, mi gente, muchos saludos, gracias por haber estado en el en vivo. Probablemente haga otro en vivo, en Junior Z Reporta. Así que pendientes, mi gente, muchas gracias por haber estado en el en vivo. Saludos para todos, se les aprecia. Esto es lo que es un recorrido en el barco, y aquí lo que es el centro de Chicago, ¿verdad? Entonces, un saludo para todos, se les aprecia, y ahí estaremos chequeándonos luego, ¿ok? Probablemente vengan otro en vivo en Reporta. Saludos, saludos. Bye bye. Suscríbase, denle like y comente. Ahí está lo que era el Ciudad Tower, lo que era el edificio más grande del mundo en un tiempo. Willis Tower, ahora se llama Willis Tower, pero era Ciudad Tower se llamaba. Saludos para todos.